Hi guys, welcome to Mumbai Movement Academy channel and my name is Krishna Mehta. This is Cyrus Khan and this is Dr. Rishi Prasad and we are co-founders of Mumbai Movement Academy. Question 1. What was the idea behind starting Mumbai Movement Academy?
The backstory to the academy was Rishi and me both started learning parkour, I would say, in the early 2010s. And after a certain point, we started getting requests from people who wanted to learn. So we both had our day jobs at the time. Rishi was a doctor and I was working in research physics. But in the evenings, we still wanted to train parkour. And if people were going to give us money to do that, we were like, okay, let's do that. And that's how the story of sort of Mumbai parkour classes began.
We went to the US and we'd spent a lot of time with other athletes and other gyms and things like that. And we kept looking at those spaces and going, why the hell don't we have one of these? And so when we came back, we were like, well, even if no one turns up to it, if we get enough students to pay the rent, we'll just start a center where we can train in. And that was the primary motivation of starting our own academy. Alright? It was a selfish reason that we wanted our own training space and hoped that other people would join us and help us pay the rent.
I think I became a part of it because I became Rishi's wife. So
you weren't my wife back then.
I literally have no idea how I came in this. Okay.
Or how you became
I wanted to, yeah. I wanted to start dance classes and they wanted to start parkour classes. And so maybe that's the reason why we thought, okay, just do it together. Why not? And then we found this space which offered both dance studio and parkour.
What were our initial challenges when we were starting this academy? I think the main challenge was finding an adequate space because we needed a decent enough size of the space, especially with the ceiling height, and we had almost no budget to speak of. So the biggest challenge was finding something that fits our budget but also can accommodate a parkour academy.
One of the other relatively initial challenges was about 11 months after we started classes. We happened to have somewhat of a global pandemic that enforced a lockdown and closed all service businesses in the city. So it was, as you can imagine, very convenient time to be a brick and mortar business. We spent 18 months out of the first 3 years of our operation functioning semi-online, which was also a very interesting challenge to face.
Okay, I think the biggest challenge for me was literally starting business without having any idea how to run the business. For example, when we had clients coming in, I used to mark attendance and at the end of the month check attendance by name. So say Rishi Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then 8 attendance. So that was the biggest challenge, just starting without knowing how to do it, how to run the business.
You're forgetting one major challenge we had which we took months to figure out. Picking a name for the damn academy.
Oh.
Right? Not body.
I wouldn't call that a challenge. I think that was a fun process.
It did take us a month to pick one.
Okay, how did we decide to divide the roles amongst ourselves? I think it just naturally happened because our nature is very different and our personalities are very different. So I naturally just happened to get into client management because I knew these guys were not going to do it. Someone had to do it. And taking money because I think I'm a Gujarati and I know how to ask for money.
We had a very particular difficulty when we started, which was even during our initial classes, we weren't the best at the business side of things, which is why Krishna was always
what
there to help.
What he means is that we never knew when someone's membership started and when it ended. The students had to remind us that we need to take fees from them. So we did try and fill the team with, to cover for our weaknesses.
Rishi and I always had a kida for working with hands and building stuff. So we ended up dealing with the construction, manufacturing of our equipment, designing what all needed to be made. Both of us also had a background in teaching the classes. So we sort of took charge of that and ended up teaching most of the classes ourselves at the time. I had a background in IT related things, so I ended up managing the website and a little bit of the stuff. Krishna had the most Instagram followers out of all of us, so we were like, you handle that, that's yours. And each one of us previous experiences and strengths just leveraged into what we ended up doing.
Actually, we never decided really who's going to do what. Naturally, it happened that I took responsibility of client managed marketing, IT and coaching, and equipment and coaching.
Wherever we saw a gap or wherever we saw an aptitude that we could provide something above what is being done, we just took those roles on.
And Cyrus is our system guy also now.
Ah.
Now he makes the system for the academy and makes sure that we have backbone.
When we first decided to create the academy, we had this vision that it would be a gathering point for everybody in the parkour community to sort of progress to the next stage, because every city that we've been to and trained at has had first a fledgling community that trains outdoors, and then centralized around a group that came together, started a physical space, and then grew onwards from there. So we saw it as the natural stepping point in that process, and the idea was to popularize parkour as a sport or a training discipline in a way where the location would give it a credibility. Because if it's just an activity happening on the street, there's a lot of a dismissal that comes from people who look at it. But when you have a space and a business running it, it automatically gains the next level of credibility a bit. One other last vision we had that the indoor space and the business would allow us to do is start coaching kids, because we had just started working with schools at the time, and we really saw sharing parkour with kids who are a very natural audience for parkour as a definite future, which has really panned out as well.
What I see, your vision also was giving an opportunity for coaches to earn from this.
Yeah.
So not just for the community, but those who have been practicing parkour, those who are good at teaching, they should also get a chance and opportunity to earn money out of it and show their parents that there is job opportunity in this field.
What we plan to do with setting up the center is by creating a formal location and a formal entity. It legitimized the teaching process as well as the discipline in the city, because now you have a space where it's happening. It's not just up in the air that, it could be any random location. And more than that, it gave the coaches a location to, run through and collaborate with others to make up for the gaps in their own skill set.
My vision was a dance studio which went down the drain.
Well, to be fair, you never ran any dance classes in the dance studio. So, looking back, I think a few of the milestones that we can look back and say that these were actually stepping stones in our progress. One of which was obviously the schools that we've been working with. We've now started working with American School, German International School, JBCN. So the fact that schools are incorporating this as part of their own curriculum or extracurricular activities gives us hope that this discipline is gaining purchase, and our company as a result is gaining purchase and showing that we are a legitimate force in this city at least.
So one of the real significant milestones was getting contacted by the Indian Army and being asked to train them. And the significant part was that wasn't a pitch from us. It was something that they reached out to us and inquired, and getting to give back a little in some way. That was a great experience, huge milestone.
But personally for me, our milestone was when we shifted from old center to the new center. That is when suddenly everything started becoming bigger. Our space was bigger, yes, but we opened at the same time, I think, multiple more centers. And suddenly we had more coaches. We found a way to hire more coaches. We started looking for people in other departments, for marketing, for client management, for all of that. So everything just suddenly became from here to boof, big. So that was a big milestone. It was difficult for us because we also had to figure out how to manage the finances and do we have the money to get to move to another space, and also which we did not have money, but we figured out somehow.
One small this thing that actually piqued my I don't know if I'd say a milestone, but certainly something noteworthy. I had a couple of people on the street just randomly approach me and say, "Oh, you're from Mumbai Movement Academy." I'm like, how do you know? The fact that the company is now actually getting recognized outside is at least we're doing something right.
I think we've seen a lot of people's trajectories change over the last 5 years that we've been in operation. But the ones that I think I'm most proud of, that I think we got to see really up close, is that of our coaches. For all our coaches, this is pretty much effectively their first and only job that they've ever done. And seeing them go from these like young, almost like college graduating teenagers and go into their working professional lives, and then over 5 years actually transform into a useful, productive, passionate working professional, I think has been one of the definite joys and milestones to see.
Yeah, that is what keeps me going. Like I did not start this because of I was interested in parkour, but then I saw the coaches and I saw them grow and I saw how it helps them. That motivates me to keep going.
It also helps when some of the parents send us videos of their kids just nailing it in all of their sports days and killing all of the competition. And it's just like, yeah, well, maybe we had some part to play in that. What are we aiming towards in the future? Now,
Find out.
Yeah.
Subscribe and
Keep
find
watching.
out. Yeah.
Who knows?
We don't know what's in future.
Start rock climbing.
But we'll just
see
keep
what else
working.
comes up.
We will keep going in the direction that we are going in. And we've been lucky because we also work hard and the luck is with us. So we have good future. I'm sure of it. Bye.
Alright.
Done.
Want a split? Join the academy. Want to lose your split? Start the academy.
Start the academy.